That log cabin.
Let me see that. It's got a good little finish on it. Oh, it does have a nice...
Yeah, you feel that?
Oh, look at the texture. Makes me want to open it, but no.
Like, it just...
Can't open it.
I'm mind blown by the marketing meetings and strategy sessions that have to be going on with these guys trying to figure out the different textures and patterns and everything else. Like, I'm flattered. I'm flattered, Discover Card. You guys are like going all out.
Discover's cash back, right? Like if you spend a certain amount, you get a certain amount back. Isn't that how it is?
Everybody's cash back these days, John.
I don't know.
But I don't even know where else Discover Card can go. It's short of having somebody show up at the house and saying, "Man, what else did you need us to do to open up these envelopes?"
What if they start sending them in boxes, like little ornate boxes with little
bow
carvings and shit? Or you never know, man. It's the holiday season. Anything could happen.
Like it's like a little invitation to a royal ball.
Do any of you get these discovered? Any of these crazy envelopes? You guys, you must. I don't.
You know.
I really don't, though.
They can answer in the comments right now, John. Yeah. But later on in the show, we're going to talk about people are going to actually be able to jump in, join the show, a little video box, and getting all this going.
Oh, I like that.
We're going to be testing that technology out after the show. Hopefully, we'll have that ramped up for next week's episode.
That should be fun. Really.
Hey, remember last week we were talking about the Absidy girl and everybody getting upset that
the alphabet girl. Yeah.
The mom getting upset because
A, B,
people are
C,
making fun
D,
of my little
E.
daughter.
Yeah.
Absidy. Well, like always. Somebody had to top it, John. Somebody had to say, you know what, I'm going to take it up a notch. This week's outraged mom, the baby's not even born yet, but she canceled the entire baby shower because their entire family basically went about as far as trying to have an intervention to tell her, no, don't do this. We're not gonna play by these rules, and that's it. This chick seriously named her kid. Let me make sure I get this right. Squire Sebastian Senator, John. That's the first name. That's the kid's first name. And she insisted there will be no nicknames or anything else, which automatically you're getting a friggin' nickname now.
Of course.
But yeah. Squire Sebastian Senator. He should be called and addressed by at all times. And her argument to her own family was, we are descended from squires and senators, and we deserve to be addressed with the royalty and that our heritage is earned. And yeah.
What does that have to do with anything? And the name of the girl who it has nothing to do? You're just ruining that girl's life, or at least you're making it more difficult for her to do anything moving forward.
I think it's a boy, dude. I think it's Sebastian. Squire Sebastian Senator.
Oh, my God. Here I was thinking of girls. What do I know?
Yeah,
jeez. Sorry, dude. I'm already sorry for you.
But,
what is it with people? Hey, so there was...
three name, first name?
No, I can actually help you out on this one. Not help you out, but add to this. Darren, whom you know, went to school at University of Whitewater, Wisconsin, of which I'm sure he'd be so happy that I remembered. Anyway, someone that he graduated with or went to school with him, she graduated like cum laude or whatever the highest of the honor class was, and her name, no joke, he tells me, was Marijuana Pepsi Jackson. I know I've told you the story before. Marijuana Pepsi Jackson, and when she was up giving her speech, or valedictorian, or whatever it is,
of course she's the smartest kid in the class.
They said, well, why were you named that? Because, of course, obviously she's going to get that her whole life. And she said, well, though I was named after my mom's two favorite things at that time of her life, and it was marijuana and Pepsi. Clearly Jackson was the last name. And then to get out of any kind of stripper or any kind of prostitute type life, she just goes and becomes the valedictorian of her class, and apparently is super smart.
I mean, here's the common sense thing that this mom wasn't thinking here, John.
Yeah.
If you're descended from senators and squires and all of this stuff, then you should know that those are titles.
Yeah.
Those are titles given to people that reach those roles. You can't give your kid a title role. Now, what happens if they achieve that title, as their heritage suggests that they will? So
then they're Squire?
Yeah. Now you're going to be Squire Sebastian Senator.
Or Senator Squire Sebastian Senator.
Yeah. Get out of here. Come on. And then you're going to get angry at everybody else.
I feel for the kids. They don't have a choice of how they're named, and then they just have all these strange names. What about Apple? Remember Apple? Wasn't that one of their stars named their kid Apple?
Yeah, I think that was... Apple. What's her name?
Paltrow? Was it Paltrow?
Yeah, Gwyneth Paltrow.
And Chris Martin.
Yep. So, Apple's aside, John, what about your week this week? Any interesting stories? Anything you came across besides the conspiratorial Uber driver?
I mean, that was fun on the way here. That was pretty much the whole most fun I had all week, other than playing some video games here and there. I just been working a lot, man. They've been busting my hump. You know it. I complain about it all the time. Not you guys don't want to hear about it all the time. But
Johnny part-time, we call him.
Seriously, part-time worker, 45, 50 hours a week, and sometimes it's just, I don't understand. So it's for anyone that's watching, anyone that cares other than me, I'm putting my foot down. After this holiday season, there's no more full-time hours. Anything over the part-time, and I'm not working it. Ain't coming in.
We've got John all amped up.
I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. Every day I go
him into the HR office.
Every day I go into work now, I'm angry, and I have to calm myself down every single day. It's not good. It's not a good thing. So sorry. Everyone's happy though.
So any anecdotes, any stories from any of this, or just like the hammer's coming down soon?
We failed some audit. The whole hotel failed the audit. Where I work specifically isn't important, but it's a higher end hotel, and there was an audit from the higher up in the company, and they come down and they check this and they check this. Well, here's a story. So the auditor calls from his room, and he requests something to his room that's something that should be in the room. I don't know if it's like a microwave or it's just something that's supposed to be in there. And he calls, and the person who answers the phone, when he makes this request, they're just like, they kind of pull their mouth away from them. They're just like, Jesus Christ. You called the wrong number. Like, and this is the auditor. They don't know this now. So they're treating a guest like a piece of shit, right? Because they don't want to deal with it. So that, but
he's getting the full experience.
That's what I'm saying. So now it's the auditor who's here and he's doing it, and so that fails, and everyone kind of fails. So now our management's, they're cracking all these whips, and we have to meet all these standards that everyone normally meets anyway. But just they happen to catch a bad day or something. But everyone's worried because we'll lose a certain status if we don't. The auditor's coming again, and this time we must pass, or else.
You know what? Here's how you pass. Don't treat people like shit.
That's what I said. I said if you keep working me full-time hours, I'm gonna find the auditor and I'm gonna make sure we fail.
You don't treat the customers like crap.
Yeah.
You don't overuse your employees.
Yeah.
You pass your audits.
Exactly.
Hey,
yeah.
Crazy how that's
for sure.
It's almost like it all adds up.
I could make it a whole episode, but let's not do that. It's just I get so angry. I just get so angry.
All right, John. Well, I guess we're going to move on to my little things this week. So I've been doing a lot of wrapping up on the WeFunder page. Cassandra from Buffalo, that's been doing a lot of our graphic design work for the WeFunder page. She's been doing an awesome job. It's real close to getting ready to unveil. We got to get a couple quotes from people and put that on the page. It's you've heard of this person approved. Gotta have that stuff, John. People can't improve stuff for themselves. So the WeFunder page has been a big focus for the past week, getting that stuff all ready and up and going. I'm hoping the first week of January, it's just going to be all guns blazing to promote the page.
Okay.
And then the only other thing I did.
Didn't you go? You went somewhere, right? Didn't you go to some event or something?
Yeah, we every once in a while, Sam, our friend that's in the Editors Guild.
Okay.
She takes us with her to the Academy Theater, where all the people that are in the Editors Guilds and the Producer Guilds, all the people that are Academy members can go and watch the new movies coming out before they come out in the theaters and all of that. So we saw Vice the other night with Christian Bale as Dick Cheney.
Oh, that's okay for vice president. Okay,
yeah.
How was that?
It was really good. I mean,
no spoilers, obviously, but
no spoilers. It's based on a true story. We all know what the scumbag did.
Hey, nobody wanted the spoilers on Titanic.
The most like it's a good movie. Like the acting is fantastic in it, but it's kind of aggravating in the sense that we're not that far removed from his reign of terror and all of that, and it's just a given what he did. We all just accept and understand what he did, how evil he was, all these lines he broke, all this stuff that happened under this guy's vice presidential reign.
Right.
And we make a movie about it, and we all go see it, and we watch the movie about the story we already know happened, and da-da-da-da. When, like, this type of stuff should be, like, I don't know, marching in the streets, calling for court-martials, calling for war crimes, like... And we're just let's make a movie about it.
It's not even a documentary, right? It's just more of like a Hollywood movie about it.
Yeah,
right?
It's made from the same guy, I think, that did The Big Short. So it's got some of this funny style shooting and filmmaking. I don't know, effects or things. Like one of the little gimmicks. Gimmicks is probably the best word. One of the little gimmicks he did. It's like halfway through the movie, or probably like third of the way through. Did a fake little record stop. except that instead of the record stop, it was like, we're going to start fake credits. Because, like, this is how the movie should end, with the happy ending and all of this. And then, oh, no, just kidding.
But that's not how it really ends. The twist.
Yeah, and all the old timers are in the theater. Oh, that's so cute.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, give me a break. That is such so gimmicky.
Maybe if you're that old, you like the gimmick, I guess.
But the movie was really good. The story was infuriatingly honest. And I just, again, I don't understand how we just accept that these things happen and do nothing about it except make movies. And
because that's how everyone gets by now. Now it's just like, well, it passed. We'll make a movie and everyone can remember it, and then they'll just fade off into the distance, fade into history. Watch. People are going to forget. They don't care. It's very fickle. So
we see it at the whole Academy Theater and it's a beautiful theater. They got state-of-the-art 10.1 surround sound, all this stuff. Mm-hmm. And the big issue for me is that when you go to the movies here, you have to stay for the entire credit sequence.
You do?
Oh, you have to, John. You have to.
Because someone from said credits may be in the audience watching for themselves.
Exactly.
And don't you dare get up. If the fourth assistant camera operator, if you get up before his name comes up.
So it's mile-long credits.
Of course.
There was, at one point, I was seeing credits for a freaking puppeteer. There were no puppets in this movie, I assure you. Yet I'm now chained to my chair watching credits roll by that are giving props to puppeteers. I don't know what you did, dude.
I don't know.
But nobody's watching this. Nobody's like, oh, well, that guy did good work. I'm gonna take his name down. Everyone's just sitting there looking around at everybody else.
Seventh Carpenter. Oh, we gotta get him. Sign this guy. Waiting for the skull
to walk by. Then they all get up and walk out. I'm like, this is so superficial, man.
Yeah.
You guys realize that just locking yourself in for the extra 2 minutes isn't really anything.
And I get it, because it's not really like someone, like you said, even if they're not taking notes, but even like, no one's doing that.
Yeah,
no one's doing that. There was a show on a while ago whenever the credits ended, they would always like call out the people on the credits, and they would like either like, oh, I remember Bobby, clearly they don't know like Bob Smith, executive producer, line producer, whatever. But it was just kind of interesting because they actually acknowledge the credits. Most places don't, again, acknowledge the credits. You just sit through them and then you're gone. Yeah. At least Marvel keeps you to the end and gives you a little treat at the end of the credits.
Most people don't read street signs these days. You think they're going to sit there reading anything on the credits?
The street sign, 1 or 2 words, let alone credits.
All right, John. We've got we're back with commercial breaks. We've got a commercial break coming in here right now from our gang at Code Sox. We've got a Fred Jackson commercial coming up here now.
Right.
So when we come back from the break, we're gonna talk about our special announcement with ELabs. They've got a tournament coming up, and we're gonna do something really cool to participate in the tournament. So Code Sox, take it away, and we'll be right back.
Good morning, Buffalo. The sun is shining, and it's game day.
My Sundays are a little different now. People say life slows down when you retire. Once again, I'm proving everybody wrong. I'm starting on a new path, joining the Code Sox team. Code Sox and I are giving back to the city we love, one sock at a time. You, me, us, and we. That's what makes a community. Put on for your city, Buffalo, and rep your code.
Touchdown! It's incredible! Fred Jackson!
Okay, John. We're back from our commercial.
Perfect.
Does that feel good?
I felt great. It was amazing.
Having a little break?
Caught me by surprise.
Okay, so ELabs, we've been talking about them for quite a while. We've been hanging out with them for quite a while, trying to get some different things going. They've been doing a lot of test tournaments here. You may remember a while back, me and John participated in one of their two versus two Fortnite tournaments.
Yeah.
And John bailed on me after we got a free pass into the second round. No, my fault. We whooped on the first round, clowns.
We did.
And then the second round, they no-showed us, but John had to go to work there, so we didn't get to take down the title. But December 22nd, ELabs has another tournament coming up, And this one's very special to us because not only is it a game, or well, at least a sport, a little closer to home. It's going to be a Mutant Football League. Yeah. So it's football, which John and I love. It's not EA, which is probably a great thing.
Probably.
Well, ELabs is going to be hosting the tournament on esportsshowdown.com. You can register for the tournament at esportsshowdown.com, and I think it's 16 people for what is it, John? The Switch, the PS4, the PC, and the Xbox. $100 grand prize for each one of those tournaments is in the prize pool. So total of $400 you're giving away, 100 for each platform. It's going to be a 16-person, 1 versus 1 NCAA tournament bracket style. You win, you move on. You win, you move on.
You lose, you don't.
Yeah, playoff style. So
yeah,
the cool part of this whole thing is, let me get back to my notes here, John, because I've gone fully rogue.
Perfect.
Is ELabs has a licensing deal with the Mutant Football League.
Okay.
So they're the official tournament provider for the Mutant Football League game that just came out.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's amazing.
And it's
really,
it's one of the first tournaments being held for the game. They're doing it as you saw the graphic on screen, their seasons beating series.
Oh, that's
so true. John's going to be our ringer that we're going to throw into the match to play in the PC tournament. And then what we're going to be doing and how we're going to be participating in this tournament is Gratwick Gaming is finally going to have its long overdue debut, John. Now that the studio is all set, it's built, it's ready to go. One of the main reasons we put this studio together was to do esports games broadcasts, play-by-play stuff. So there it is on screen, Gratwick Gaming logo. I don't want to spill the beans yet. I may have done that with my arm motions, but that'll debut December 22nd. We're going to be simultaneously streaming to the Gratwick Gaming Facebook group page, the Gratwick Gaming YouTube page, and the Gratwick Gaming Twitch page. Then Twitter, Gratwick Gaming, at Gratwick Gaming. Follow us on any one of these sites, and you can participate in the tournament. Might be a couple little giveaways, maybe some code socks. We don't know. We're working on it. But we're going to have different hosts. We're going to see, they're still getting the tournaments up and running here, John.
Mm-hmm.
They're building the site, doing a lot of test stuff like that. So we're going to be testing out the broadcast, all the equipment that we've got now to do all of this stuff with.
I'm so sorry.
Jump in.
You did say PC earlier for me, but you meant PS4, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The PS4.
So I'll be working the PS4, not the PC. I'll be working the sticks.
Oh, yeah. You'll be on the PS4
22nd.
Here in the studio. But we're going to also have, ideally, a couple different groups of aspiring esports broadcasters that are going to be here hanging out for the day. And at each round, we're going to test out a different pair if we've got enough for it, or we're going to be working with them. So we're gonna be getting all the tech and the bugs and all of these different things worked out. We're gonna be trying to find some really cool esports announcers and that can be hosting the shows as we do all of this. And then ideally, this stuff's gonna be all good to go and streamlined by the time we hit January, John.
Let's hope. Hit the ground running.
Yeah, we're gonna come right into the new year. ELabs gonna have the tournaments going. We're gonna be providing the broadcasts, and we're just gonna get this stuff taken off.
No.
Gratwick Gaming, John.
I can't wait. Seriously, I think it's been far too long in the coming, and we need to get this thing off the ground as of now.
I'm excited to start streaming and broadcasting stuff that I don't have to be in front of the camera for. That I can be behind there, working the tech, not having to be the guy on screen with the green glow around me.
Exactly. Or the pretty face, you know.
Well, I don't know about that, John.
That was sarcasm.
But I do got
sarcasm.
I do got the sweet beard. I've been pulling into a point here with the nice white streak.
I've noticed you've been really growing it out. It looks almost Amish at this point.
I'm pulling it into that sweet point. I can't let it go because I like the white stripe so much.
I thought the white stripe. That's so funny. I thought about going Fu Manchu, and people have told me for years to do it, but it's so scraggly that there's really nothing there. It's a fat guy with a Fu Manchu. I don't even know if it would look good anyway.
Yeah, looking at the chops, I don't think you can get it in tight on the up there.
No.
That's my biggest problem.
Really?
Is like from chin up, it just goes out.
There's like a patch here that nothing grows, and here, so it just doesn't matter. Yeah. You guys don't care, neither do I. Really, let's be honest.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when we have to buy time, John, because you didn't hit your mark.
No, I didn't. We were talking about the. We're talking about Buffalo.
We are talking about John.
I lost us.
You did lose us.
I got lost.
We were talking about the Gratwick Gaming and all of the things coming with that. And as we were transitioning out of there, you were supposed to hit me with, hey, how are things going with the Buffalo Star Search program?
I just, my notes are apparently not in the right spot.
And then I would have come back with some variation of, you know what, John? It's going really well. We've started getting some artist tagging on Twitter using the hashtag Buffalo Star Search. We've got a cool little graphic we're going to throw up on screen.
Why am I your co-host, dude? I really don't know.
And for the Buffalo Star Search, we're looking for artists and creators, filmmakers, all of these different things in the Western New York area. Anyone that's ever used a phone number that starts with 716 is eligible. And anybody that nominates an artist for Twitter or Instagram, and God, I get so thrown when these graphics come up and down. I gotta be tougher than this, John.
You and me both, right?
One little graphic change that I'm not expecting, and I just my mind goes blank. So you can nominate these artists using the hashtag Buffalo Star Search, tag Gratwick Productions and Pulp 716, our favorite comic book store in Western New York, on Twitter or Instagram, and you're automatically entered into a drawing for either one of those sweet pair of 716 socks you just saw in our commercial.
Cold socks, nice.
Or a Pulp 716 gift basket, which it's going to be all sorts of comic books, toys, little figurines, all sorts of sweet stuff. They've got at Pulp 716, John. I am freaking drowned in here today. I need you to take some reins.
I'm so sorry. It's not a good day. It's not a good day at most. So
Tim the Head's contributing more to this show.
Is he even on the monitor? Oh, he is. Okay. I'm looking at the monitor thinking he's on the table looking at us.
Tim the Head is back.
On the table looking. Look at him. He looks like Popeye, doesn't he?
Yeah,
you ever do that? You ever put a corn pipe in his mouth?
For those that don't know, Tim the Head is a prop from our first movie that we made, The Perfect House. But more affectionately, Tim the Head is a rubber facsimile of the actor that gets decapitated in the movie. Spoiler alert. Gets decapitated in the movie, and he is also one of my beloved managers during my decade of collections in the collection industry. He was with me at 4 or 5 different collection agencies and was an aspiring actor. When we brought back and made the movie,
hang on. I gotta cut. So
that's my boss's head on our desk.
I gotta bounce back. Your boss's head. So I remember we did the episode where we talked about all our jobs. I didn't know that you did multiple collection agencies. I thought it was just one long stretch of one collection agency.
That was mentioned in passing, John. There was at least 11 different collection entities.
And he, not him, literally followed you through like 5 of them, or vice versa.
It was kind of. No one followed to every, like, you might follow somebody here to this time, but then
you split, but then you meet up again at this next one.
Yep, all sorts of stuff like
it's
that.
Like a circuit.
It was an entire underground community in Buffalo, John. Just absolutely a subculture of sex, drugs, and crime.
Sex, drugs, and crime in collection agencies,
dude. You don't need any kind of license to be a bill collector. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Where does sex and drugs come in? Like, people offer sex and drugs to get out of their debt?
Most collection agencies have, and especially like the corporate collection agencies, have 100 to 200 people on an open collection floor that are anywhere from 18 to 40 ne'er-do-wells that freaking... all smooth talkers, all freaking looking for the easiest way through life. I'll call and tell somebody to pay their bill versus doing...
And so is there smooth talking on the floor to each other? Like, we're going to hook up and go out and do this, and this is going to be great, and
have 100 people all in their 20s in one area every single day, all day, every day. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, people are going to start hooking up and all that stuff.
Real quick, again, I know I keep doing this. It reminds me, I saw a video on the making of Atari, the company.
Okay.
And they said back in the day when they were, like, becoming up big, all these nerds, they gave, like, they let them party and stuff with, like, women and all this other stuff at work.
Yeah.
And that's how they worked. And that's sounds like the same type of a thing, but this was the Atari company.
Well, this is where the whole millennial and Silicon Valley work culture and corporate culture has come about and all of that. That's what they've done is provide all these extravagant perks and stuff to the workforce, whether it's a 24/7 gourmet lunch buffet or scooters or wild parties and the early formation of all that stuff. You can have a lot more lax rules and all that. It's a tighter, more intimate group. The corporate culture isn't structuralized yet.
Plus, it creates that relaxed effect, so you're not so pressured because you're able to have fun at work while you're working.
Yeah, and most of these
which
people,
I think is huge.
especially in the early stages of these corporate cultures, most of these people are doing something that they've basically made their life. So
Right.
The partying and all that is all built into the whole. This is just continuing.
I just never would have suspected. No offense, I just never would have expected collections would be such a.
Didn't you ever watch The Social Network?
I didn't really. Come on, that's a movie. I didn't really suspect that anything that put in there was absolutely true either way,
Dude,
one way or the other.
Some of the funniest things I've ever heard in my life, the craziest things I've ever seen in my life.
All via the collection agency?
The most wild experiences have all come on collection floors or associated with collection floors. We had a guy one time that drove hundreds of miles to the collection agency, not because he was angry about his bill or his. He was so pissed off at how deep under his skin the collector on the phone got that he was determined to confront them face to face.
Come on.
Oh, dude, that would happen every couple of years. Somebody would show up at the place.
No, there's no way the other guy on the phone would be like, yeah, I'll confront you.
They weren't allowed to go outside, but he would have if he let him.
Really?
But, dude, I wish that I knew that I was going to be a writer and all of that while I was lost and checked out during collections. The amount of things that I could have just jotted down and took notes and verbatim.
That's why I'm surprised you really. I mean, you must have a million stories anyway. Not that we need to go over everything now, but I mean, you must really have just a ton. How many years?
There was 9
years, dude. Come on. I tell Uber drivers they could tell stories. I imagine the collection's going to be even crazier.
I've tried to black it out. That was a dark period of my life, man.
Those make for great stories, the darkest times.
Absolutely, and it's no coincidence I've gone on to become a storyteller and have so many different things to draw from, and I've interacted with so many different pockets of America that I can understand or grasp the regional mindsets and all of this. He's talked to all these people for 9 years. It's just. It eats at your soul, man. It just rotted my entire perception of society and people in general, and it took a lot to hit a breaking point and walk away and say I can never pick up a phone and do that again. And again, you're talking, if we're going back to that episode when we were talking about the jobs and all of that, you're talking about a dude that right out of the gate was terrible at collecting from people on the paper route because I felt bad when somebody was 2 or 3 weeks behind.
So then how did you go into collections?
The only reason I went into collections is because I thought I wanted to be a stockbroker because, we're talking late 90s here.
Stockbroker!
Stockbroker!
Yeah, Wall Street.
So late 90s Wall Street. And so while I was preparing for the Series 7 exam and studying for all of that stuff, I wanted to get into something that was in a similar field, and collections was a huge subculture in Buffalo.
Okay.
So it's like, well, if I can call and talk to people on the phone every single day and get them to pay bills with money they don't have, then talking to people and getting them to invest their money in stocks or shares, that should be easy compared to the
right, because these don't have money. I can get money out of them. These people have money, so it should be easier to get money out of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, 9 years later, I realized I hated asking people for money. I hated having anywhere near these discussions of people's money and finances and all of that type of stuff.
Okay.
And now, for the last 10 years, I've been a filmmaker and an entrepreneur, which is a whole other field of asking people
for money
all the time.
Exactly.
It's just a nightmare of.
There's really nothing worse than having to ask people for money.
It is the.
I mean, even if it's a loved one and it's $20, it's still just like you don't want to ask someone for money. You don't want to do it.
It's not just that. It's even though I believe in why we need the money at this point, because the collections, I didn't give a shit whether you paid your bill or not.
Right.
I wanted the commission, yada yada.
Yeah.
There was all that. So even in that, I couldn't feel good or look myself in the mirror trying to bully somebody into paying a bill that they couldn't afford to pay when I couldn't pay my own bills at that point in time and all that stuff anyway. but I needed them to pay their bill in order for me to pay my bill. It was just a shitty dynamic that I couldn't live off of.
Okay.
And now in this situation, where even though I believe exactly in what we're building and how strong it is and how much good it can do and how much money it can make for everybody else, like, unless you want to sit down and have a long, drawn-out conversation about why I think this is a sound thing for you to be involved in, anything else I feel like is dumbing it down or is pandering to the lowest common denominator or trying to just sell you on a catchphrase or a call to action or something like that. When, like, again, the biggest reason I'm not a good salesperson is because I don't want to treat you like an idiot and sell to your senses.
Yeah.
I want to sell to your intellect.
Right.
And people don't have time for that. I don't know. Sell me on. Give it to me quick. What's the elevator pitch? Da, 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 da. And I'm like, kick the tires here a bit. The harder you kick the tires, the better what we got going on looks.
Exactly.
And that's been my problem forever. Is I don't want to pander to people to sell something. I want them to be able to see for themselves that it's good, that the product speaks for itself, and all these different things. But before the product can speak for itself, you have to sell the whole thing to get the product made, and it's just.
I hear you. I'm not a huge fan of being a salesman either. Because I'm an outgoing person and I talk a lot, as you well know. I get a lot of people saying, "Oh, you should be a car salesman. Here's my card. Come in, do this." I don't want to sell because my whole idea of a salesman is somebody who just pushes. If you're like, "No, thanks," and they're like, "Oh, but wait a minute," and then they just keep pushing and pushing, and I don't want to be that pushing.
What makes them a good salesman is they can manipulate somebody that doesn't really want to buy something into feeling guilty enough to buy it, and then they'll probably regret it after they buy it. Buyer's remorse.
Yes.
That's what makes somebody a good salesman, and I don't want to be a good salesman because of that. I want to be a good salesman because the product sells itself. And like, hey, you want some of this? It sells itself.
More like Tommy Boy. The brake pads, they sold themselves. They were that good.
Yeah.
Callahan's brake pads. They're good.
This is the second week in a row or 2 and 3 weeks where we've had a Tommy Boy reference.
What was it last week?
We've had more Tommy Boy references than sound effects.
Sound effects. I've been waiting to push buttons.
So we've gone totally rogue on this category. Andrea's probably back there going nuts. She's sending me messages over here wishing that we didn't get away from the audio so she could be in my ear the whole time. Back on the Buffalo Star search, we've had a couple nominations so far on Twitter, and we're gonna promote them or talk about them or throw them up on screen here. Andrea, hit me with the graphic. The favorites of this week's nominations is ConstanceBooks.com, which is a father-daughter writing team, John, that writes children's books. And they've got a couple out and available on their website. And the dad reached out to us, told us about the daughter and the books that they've got going on there.
Okay.
And asked us to check it out. So we liked what we saw. We're here.
All right, I like that. There's
Pass
two
it on the website.
And the second nomination?
Mindy Davy. Mindy Davy is a singer-songwriter.
Mindy Davy. Okay.
John, you checked out her music video. What'd you think?
It was interesting. It was about like I can't think of the word again.
Bullies?
Bullying. Thank you. It's like anti-bullying.
Anti-bullying.
Yeah, it wasn't about bullies, but it was out about anti-bullying. And the video was interesting. To be completely honest, it kind of showed, I'm assuming, what the perspective of somebody who got bullied was, like people saying all these things, these nasty things, and then them. You could just watch the video yourself. It's a pretty good video. It's just about people who get bullied a little bit, and I think that it brings awareness to it. And anti-bullying is actually a good thing.
Mindy, actually, a couple people had tagged Mindy and asked us to check her out. So I would suggest you guys do the same. Her Twitter handle is Mindy_Davy. And she's got a couple links to some of her music videos and stuff on there. If you go on Twitter, I think it was called Morgan's Song.
Yes.
No, or not Twitter, I'm sorry, YouTube. If you go on YouTube and look up Morgan's Song, you can check out Mindy's music video. So to the people who have nominated Mindy and Constance, thank you. Thank you guys very much. If you want to get registered into an opportunity to win the gift basket or the code socks, all you have to do is use the hashtag Buffalo Star Search, tag Gratwick Productions, tag Pulp716, and you'll be entered into a free drawing that'll happen at the end of the year. Actually, probably the first week of January, because the contest goes through the end of the year.
Right.
And on screen is the instructions, or you can go to gratwickproductions.com/Buffalo Star Search, and it's got the whole breakdown and everything you need to know about the program, what we're doing, who we're looking for, And we just really want to find some cool talent in the area that we can talk about and shine a little light on, and hopefully work together and get some cool stuff made in the future.
Yeah, well, the joy of it is that we've already found 2. So 2 nominations. I mean, good job. Congratulations on the nominations. Good luck to the nominees as well. But it's good. We're creating the buzz. People are getting out there. They're seeing it. They're creating this, and this is the whole thing. It's about creating. I keep saying the word, but that's what we're all doing, right? We're all creating something bigger and better. And we're all here to help each other, so.
And if you are a creator, you can submit your project by going to the same website, gratwickproductions.com/Buffalo Star Search, finding out all the submission directions. Here's a hint. The submission is a physical submission at the Pulp 716 store in North Tonawanda.
There you go. Yep. North Tonawanda. I like that. Are there any other, this is always me, are there any other weird named cities?
Tonawanda.
That the only one?
There's all sorts of ones. I don't know what you consider weird. There's Lackawanna.
But if the average person were to look and see Lackawanna, would they say it like that, or would it look like something different? Because there's a town in Wisconsin called Waukesha, but it looks like Waukesha, but it's pronounced Waukesha.
Well,
so it's weird. It's a Native American name. So
yeah, the whole western side of New York State is Seneca Indian territory.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. So these are all Lackawanna, Tonawanda, North Tonawanda. These are all Indian names.
So there are a lot of Native Americans still living there, or they don't live there anymore. There's
a reservation. There's a lot of Indian casinos, but I wouldn't say there's a large
number of Native Americans still there. Okay.
No.
I understand.
Probably bullied them and pushed them farther west.
Yeah, the very few who took the advantage to do the casinos, because they get a discount, right? I think it is, if you're a Native American, you get no taxes.
Yeah, they've got a tax discount, of course. They've got some sort of poker voodoo curse over me, so I don't play poker there anymore.
We know I'm too easy to get on tangents. I won't ask. We'll ask later. It'll be another story, another day.
It's decade in collections. There's only so much you can do. You beat up people on the phone, go to the Seneca Indian Casino, and repeat and wash.
So I'm actually going to move us forward this time. So
are you going to?
You just recently told me that you had. He sent me a little text, and it's about this. It's this thing called gridfam.com. Okay.
You are going to do it, John. I didn't know you were going to steamroll through our second commercial break. This is supposed to be Google Keep shared document. We're supposed to be looking at the exact same thing, folks.
I know.
And somehow it didn't update John on the second commercial break. Okay. So I'm going to update Andrea on the second commercial break and hit us with that commercial.
Good morning, Buffalo. The sun is shining and it's game day.
My Sundays are a little different now. People say life slows down when you retire. Once again, I'm proving everybody wrong. I'm starting on a new path, joining the Cold Sox team. Cold Sox and I are giving back to the city we love, one sock at a time. You, me, us, and we. That's what makes a community. Put on for your city, Buffalo, and rep your code.
Touchdown! It's incredible! Red Jackson!
I was going to talk about GridFam, and here I am going to talk about GridFam. I'm not going to do this whole huge thing. So we were looking for ways to get remote guests on the show, and we're always trying to discover new ways to make the show better for you and better for us and better for guests, so they can share their stories and we can help everyone and continue to move forward.
And not force people to have to come all the way up to Selmar to be a guest.
Through this thing called life, yeah. That's a heck of a drive, too, by the way. So he sends me the link, and I take a look at it. I didn't dig into it, but it looks like a pretty good program, and it's going to allow for us to put somebody else on the screen while we talk, so you can see their face, but they'll be comfortable in their home in Hollywood or Ohio or China, depending on wherever they want to, wherever the guest is calling in from. Beyond that, I don't really have a ton of information, but I think
possibly even China, John.
That in and of itself, I think, is amazing, because we haven't even had a physical guest, and here we are now already working on the digital guest.
Well, we were just about ready to start the physical guest.
But what happened? I didn't even ask. Like, we missed it.
Well, The ELabs guys were going to join us this week, but that was going to be a pre-recorded interview that was done on Saturday. And Saturday got away from us because all last week, which is why I didn't have a lot of stories for this past week, it was raining here in LA, and we did Amazon as much as we could last week.
Okay.
So the week just blew by, and I didn't follow up with the ELabs guys about Saturday fast enough, so they had other work commitments and stuff that they pulled down on that one. Malik, the project is still coming together, and we want to make sure that we have all the hard details to talk about and all of that when we bring him on.
Okay.
He'll hopefully be here on the 22nd as part of the team for the broadcast stuff.
Okay.
So other than that, we haven't put much effort into looking for the physical guests yet because we just got up and running. We're still working on figuring out the green screen lighting here, as you can see. So with all of that, I started looking into, now that we have the broadcast and all of that coming up next on the 22nd for the esports stuff.
Yep.
I wanted to make sure that I started looking into the details for how we can pull off the online guests. And I found this, I wasn't expecting to find this answer so easily, and it just popped up, and I'm like, holy shit! I think this is the answer to our problems when it comes to online guests.
And it looks pretty nice. I mean, obviously you can't see what I'm looking at. I'm looking at just a link here, but I'm just saying, it looked when I looked at it. It was, it looks really interesting. It doesn't look that difficult to use, but we know how that all goes, right?
Well, that's the hope, is that it looks really easy to use. Anyone with a Twitter account will be able to go and enter the queue, and we can pull in any guests for the show that we want to pull into. Then it'll have their Twitter feed right above them. It'll have us. It'll be real nice.
Yeah.
And boop.
Let's hope it's a quick little plug and play. Bing, bing, bing. We'll have as many guests on as we can.
Yeah, but at the very least, it should be a way that we'll have a wider berth of people we can potentially ask to come on the show and hang out and talk. A little less of just me and John droning on here.
Yeah, really.
But that's hopefully next week. I would like to say if this works properly and our test tonight goes well, we're going to bring somebody in next week one way or the other, John. Even if I have to set up a patsy, we're going to have somebody jump on and talk to us through this mess.
So this is going to sound like a stupid question, but I'm going to ask it anyway because I don't care about stupid questions. So Grid Fam, okay, I didn't do enough research, but I'm assuming that whenever you have a program where you can share something like that, clearly they have to have the same program, right? That's the whole point. Obviously,
no, you don't. It's done through the browser.
Oh.
Yeah, it's done through the browser. It might be an app for mobile devices, but but as far as I know, it said all you have to have is a Twitter account, no sign up, no setup.
Really? That'll make it even easier for people because some people don't want to I don't want to sign up for Grid Fam and download it, but I guess you don't have to.
Nope. You just have to you just log in through Twitter, and it all does it inside the browser.
Oh my!
I pushed one.
A sound effect. What are those?
I pushed one.
Yeah. Woo. This is where we'd like to, before we transition into our Discord questions, I'd like to tell anyone that would like to join us on Discord, we now have an easy link to share instead of all the little goofy letters and numbers. Discord.me/Gratwick. Gratwick. Use that. You can jump right into the public Gratwick server. If you'd like to be a sound effect person and volunteer to help out the show, we need a sound effect person.
Badly.
John misses so many opportunities. And windows.
It's okay. I don't mind. It's true. He's not wrong. Please, someone take this responsibility away.
So we're looking for a volunteer in that regards. I don't think it can be a remote job. I think you'd have to be here somewhere in the area.
We'll pay you in smiles.
Yes. But let's get it started, John.
Get what started? Our
Discord questions!
Discord questions!
Timing was off on that.
It was a little bit.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Now moving forward.
Andrea, hopefully we haven't frustrated you too much with this episode.
I'm sure we frustrate everyone.
You guys got a little off subject.
Nah,
we went rogue.
I'd do that.
It's trouble with format.
You went very rogue during Buffalo Star Search time.
Yeah, that's my fault. Let's move forward with the Discord questions, though.
Yes, we got some very heavy and serious Discord questions this week.
Yeah. Let's hear them.
So we're going to start with the most serious one.
Of course.
Misery and Mayhem would like to know, what do you think are the biggest social issues in the States today? Do you think they're the same or similar to those of other countries?
Okay, so here's how we're going to decide who goes first. I am holding a number underneath the desk, Andrea, that is even or odd. You're going to guess. If you're right, John is going to go first. If you're wrong, I'm going to go first. So which is it, Andrea? Even or odd?
John, make sure he isn't changing fingers.
No, I'm watching.
I go with odd.
There you go.
It is 2. Who went in the case
All right.
of Andrea being wrong?
You said I would go if she was right, if it was even.
Okay.
You do.
All right. So I go first.
Yep.
Boom. All right.
I.
And the question was, what is the biggest social issue
Issues.
that we face today?
Yeah, in the U.S. And then there's the part 2
In
is
the US.
do you think they're the same in other countries?
Okay. I feel like I may have bought enough time to have an answer for this question. So my issue, John, is that everyone feels entitled to their feelings over the needs of society.
Okay.
There's no discourse anymore. True and false are irrelevant to somebody's feelings. I feel this way, so therefore I'm entitled to be this way. Damn everybody else and the established bindings of society that are holding us all together.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've frayed so far in that direction that it is pulling at the stability of society for the first time in at least this dynasty or this empire's existence. And I think whether or not we come back from that ledge is the biggest issue we face. Now, for other countries, this is going to sound extremely nationalistic and arrogant, but I think when you really look at the dynamics, when you look at what's going on in France and all of these things, I think the biggest social issue all of these countries face is whether or not America is going to get their shit together. And be able to be the leader and the
I don't know either. I don't know. That's a good question.
yeah we were supposed to be the shining light of society and the one that led the way on how to treat people better, and every man has a right and we're all treated equal and fairness under God, all this stuff. And now we've completely lost our way. We can't agree on anything anymore, and I think that's just going to trickle down to everybody else. You're already seeing it trickle down to everybody else. And I think the stability of our global civilization is dependent upon America getting its shit together.
Okay, that makes sense. That was well put. Well put. The biggest social issue. There's so many social issues. I mean, obviously, one's going to be, like you said, one's going to be big to this person that's going to be big. This is something else going to be big. This is something else going to be big. For me, it's got to be similar to what you said. I don't like the oversensitivity and the fact that a small, one person can say, hey, you can't say that because it offends me, and then all of a sudden you just can't say it. Or at least a little group, maybe not one person. And it's like, what? It's okay to be offended.
Yeah, when we get to this point where you're entitled to never be offended.
It's okay to be offended. What happens when I'm offended that you're offended? And now it's like, well, that's not even what are you talking about? So it's the fact that people care so little about what other people think and only about themselves, and that's the road we've been traveling down, and that's where what you've been saying, we kind of went down that way. So it's just like the biggest social issue is like, oh well, you have to take care of me. You have to take care of me. That's like, why don't you take care of yourself? You have to grow up and take responsibility instead of pointing fingers and saying it's somebody else's fault. It's not your fault. Well, it is your fault, no matter what you say, because it's your life and you have to take accountability. Does this happen in other countries? I don't think the same thing happens. I think they have other issues. Like their government is way more corrupt and shitty than ours, and they don't treat them well. They don't have drinking water, and they don't have all this other stuff. I'm just saying, as much as I love this country, don't get me wrong, I know that other countries have other much more serious social issues than necessarily that we have. They don't even have their internets, everything's cut down. I mean, they just don't have much in other countries from what I've seen. Again, I'm not an expert by any means, but I mean, I don't know, the biggest social issue in the U.S. today, it's got to be the me movement. That's what I'm going to call it. The hashtag me.
Here's the thing, John. Back in my day, when we were growing up, and somebody offended you, you learned that person was a jerk.
Yeah.
And then you went on with your day. You know that guy? That guy's a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah, don't talk to him. He's a jerk, so we're done.
There were social consequences for being an asshole.
Yeah.
Oh, that guy goes around offending everybody. He's a dick.
Yeah.
Don't hang out with him.
Pretty much.
Now it's all of a sudden, well, I'm entitled to consequences and repercussions because that guy offended me.
Yeah.
Where's my what do we hand out to people that have been wrong, John? Where's
consolation prize?
Yeah. Where's my reward for being insulted today.
What happened to the phrase "sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me"? They're just words, people. Get over it.
You know, and here's what I don't understand.
What?
Is why does everybody think they're entitled to their craziness in this day and age? Like, I consider myself very OCD, very stickler for certain things, very much have quirks in all of these things and all of like that. Yeah, yeah. But when I go out and walk around society, I don't expect society to bend around my quirks and all of that. I can't afford to make society bend around my quirks and all of that. Right. Society usually tells me to go fly a kite when all of this. But somehow the rest of the world has gotten it in their head that we're all supposed to like bend around their quirks and idiosyncrasies. I don't understand when everybody got to the point where they can afford to be
That's
crazy.
how it happens, because the PC movement is what started that movement. The politically correct, or censorship is what it should be called, movement. Because then it's like, you can't say this word. And it starts off good because you can't swear. So it's like, okay, you can't say the bad words. Fine, it's bad words. But once it starts there, it's already started. So now it's like you can't say the bad words. Well, now it's like, we can't say this because now you might offend someone.
And then you immediately get into who decides what the bad words are.
Exactly. So that's the whole thing. So we're really dragging it. But yeah, the social issue, I honestly think, is just people are way too oversensitive and they feel like they're entitled to everything in the U.S. today. Everything.
All right, what do you got, Andrea?
Yeah,
What's
sorry.
next?
What's up?
So, earlier this week, there was a little bit of a controversy about the old school song, Baby It's Cold Outside. Apparently, someone in the middle of nowhere finally listened to the lyrics and decided they didn't like that it was a man convincing a young girl not to go home to her parents on a cold, snowy night and to instead stay with him. And there's even a line about her asking if he put something in her drink. So,
what's the question?
There has been a blow-up across the social media about if that song is inappropriate, if a lot of holiday songs that we consider classics shouldn't be played anymore. Are people making something out of nothing these days? That is the question.
See, to me, those things are not mutually exclusive. I believe people are making something out of a lot of nothings these days. But at the same time, I think it doesn't hurt to go back and look at a lot of things with a newfound open-mindedness and sense of awareness of really what the culture was, what things were done. I mean, at first, when I heard and read this, I'm like, are you kidding me? Now we're going after the Christmas songs? But then I'm like, you know what? Let me have an open mind here and read the lyrics and see if maybe this person has a point. And I read the lyrics, and the farther down the lyrics I got, the more I started to cringe. I'm like, all right, I mean, I'm not saying the song should be banned or never played again and all of that, but I do think in certain radio stations and stuff, it's in poor taste. I think you can't expect people to just be as nonchalant as they used to be. Here's 2 lines in this song. What's in this drink?
Yeah.
Right off the get-go, we're singing about drugging the girl to get her to stay. And the line that is, to me, the death knell of this song.
Which one?
You're very pushy, you know. And the singing response is, I'd like to think of it as opportunistic.
Yeah, I'm looking at the lyrics right now.
That's about as rapey as it gets. I'm not pushy. I'm opportunistic. Tell that to any girl that doesn't want to be touched, and tell me where that's going.
Well, I mean, the song, I'm looking at the last line of the lyrics, too. It says, it's like, baby, it's cold outside. Okay, fine. Just another drink, then.
Yeah, ply her with more
That
alcohol.
took a lot of convincing. That's the last line. That took a lot of convincing.
A lot of alcohol, a lot of Mickeys.
See, you know what's funny?
A lot of opportunisticness.
And when I say funny, I don't mean ha-ha funny by any means, because it's not funny. But Andrea had said, oh, you know the song? And I was like, I don't even know the song. He's like, oh, it's an older song. I'm like, so I would have to say that while someone brought it up, and I understand, and it's actually not, I mean, looking at it, analyzing it line for line, it doesn't look good at all. But how many people know this song? So I'll ask you, how many people know the song Baby It's Cold Outside?
But here's the thing,
before it was brought up in this instance.
I think a lot of people like knew of the song in passing. Like I knew the song, but I never stopped and listened to the lyrics.
Right.
Like I knew the jingle, baby, and the gist of it. Mm-hmm. But how many people actually stopped and really listened to the lyrics? And I think that's the biggest thing that we need to take away from today's society. Mm-hmm. Yes, a certain degree of extremists, and there's always extremists on everything, are trying to microanalyze everything too much. But I think the underlying benefit to that is a larger segment of the population is not just taking things on the surface. They're looking into things more. They're paying attention more. They're looking at the subtext more than ever before, and they're realizing how much we've been manipulated. How much am I making these decisions, or is the whims of society making these decisions for me? Am I really buying this cereal because I like this cereal, or am I buying it because this is the cereal that I saw commercials for?
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Oh, dude.
Back to our regularly scheduled programming.
John, no commercials needed for this, but I will give a commercial for it because it is excellent. Golden Graham s'mores.
Sounds good. I'm a fan of Golden Grahams. I'm a fan of Golden Grahams. I gotta say.
The cereal.
S'mores. Golden Graham s'mores.
The cereal. Yeah.
All right, Golden Grahams s'mores. Go get them today.
Unfortunately,
your local grocery store.
There's none for you to share, John.
Of course.
But we were getting this crack for $2 a box.
That's probably better that my fat ass doesn't need all that stuff.
Oh, Andrea crackled in there.
You broke up, eh?
Sorry, you guys are taking a look too long again. It wants to cut out.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
Well, seeing that the mic is now dictating Gratcast,
I guess so.
What does the mic have next for Discord questions?
Samantha would like to know,
our favorite
what
question
is
asker.
your favorite Christmas classic film?
John, you want to go first here? Seeing how you always copy my answers?
Yeah, I got a couple. One is
you get two.
One is genuine. One is a genuine, and one is a funny. One is they're all funny, but I like
funny. Haha.
I like Christmas Vacation. I have to. How can you not? If anyone's seen it, how can that not be one of your favorites? Maybe not your. Go ahead.
I put two down, John, just because to me Christmas Vacation is just a given on everybody. Yeah. So it's okay, Christmas Vacation and
yeah. So my I guess the other, because Christmas Vacation is amazing. Obviously.
Christmas Vacation and
you're gonna laugh because I think it's called Jingle All the Way.
Oh, Jingle All the Way!
It's with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sinbad, who is the least funny comedian I've ever seen in my life. But in this movie, he's actually very funny. The competition those two have in that movie cracks me up.
I would say Sinbad's a better actor than he is a comedian.
Yeah. He's not funny on stage at all, but he did a great job in the movie. It was a lot of fun.
I was just doing somebody else's material.
Pyramid's like, Jingle All the Way, really? I'm like, actually, yeah, it's fun. There's
some good lines in that too that I can't remember right now.
He's like, ta turtle man. Anyway.
Goonies.
That's a Christmas?
Oh, absolutely. It's Christmas. Yeah, that one had a profound impact on me for Christmas forever, because the whole movie takes place during Christmas, and the grizzly neighbor, he's he's forever scarred by a bad Christmas that he had, so he hates Christmas and he's terrified of it. And that's when the first Gremlins happens is over Christmas, and he's like, "I told you, Christmas is bad. Christmases are no good."
Dude, hold up.
What?
You said Goonies.
Yeah, you didn't say Gremlins.
Oh, my fault. Gremlins.
Oh, that's a big difference. Big difference.
Gremlins is totally what I'm talking about.
Oh, well, Gremlins makes a little more sense. At least you know it's around the holidays. Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think Gremlins.
I'm trying to remember what neighbor you're talking about on Goonies.
I'm pretty sure Gremlins 2 takes place around Christmas as well.
It probably does, so many years later or whatever.
I'm actually one of the rare birds out there that likes Gremlins 2 way better than Gremlins 1.
I don't even remember Gremlins 2. It was Spike's Revenge or something, but beyond that, I don't know the movie.
Gremlins 2 takes place in this whole state-of-the-art office building complex.
Okay.
That's basically like a World Trade Center.
Okay.
And there's a certain lab that's doing experiments, and they get a hold of Gizmo on there, and all these crazy different gremlins come out. There's a flying back gremlin. There's the educated, speaking, super high intellect gremlin. There's Stripe and all of them. Then Gizmo has to go through the air vents and all of that. And he's all dressed up like Rambo. He gets the paperclip and unwraps and bends it. And he's got pencils with flaming marshmallows on the front. So he's got flaming arrows.
You're losing me.
You're losing me. There's a big spider gremlin. But dude,
my
I used
gosh.
to make paper arrow or paper clip bow and arrows
because
forever
of that
up,
movie.
Yeah, because Gremlins. Oh, dude, yeah, Gremlins 2. I freaking
That's probably
loved
the best
it.
thing. Probably the best thing that came out of Gremlins 2.
No, was that civilized? No, it wasn't.
And but he was evil, right? He was evil, but he was the intelligent speaker. The blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah. One of the bad Gremlins.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic.
All right, I'm actually gonna step through the wall, the fourth wall here. Andrea, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
I'm kind of stuck between the Santa Claus,
Okay.
the old school Rudolph,
Okay.
or the very new The Christmas Chronicles with Kurt Russell. Because that is
we got to cross
damn
Rudolph.
good.
And the Santa Claus
That's
was
culturally
Tim
bad now,
Allen,
too.
right?
Yes.
The Santa Claus was Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rudolph's out. That's culturally bad now too. Whole lot of bullying and abusive behavior in Rudolph. Dude, that one,
The whole
like you
point
watch
of
it
that
back,
is
it's
that
actually.
he was bullied by all the other reindeer.
Yeah, but Santa
And
Claus
then
the
he
bully,
becomes
like
cool because Santa embraces him.
No,
and then everyone
Santa
gets that
embrace
he's
no,
cool because he's special.
no. The message that comes across in Rudolph, and the reason everybody has problems with it, is you're a freak until the reason that makes you a freak is needed by society. Then they'll accept you and they'll want you back into society. Santa was one of the meanest ones, including the coach Blitzen to Rudolph, until all of a sudden they needed something. Now he's acceptable and can come back into society. It's a true bully's anthem to the bitter end.
What about Frosty the Snowman or Abominable Snowman?
The classic
They have all
claymation. Were those
those.
claymation? I forget what the stop action for sure though. I remember those, but I mean,
I hope the
Might have been.
puppeteers got
They're
credit.
Super cool.
they probably did, and they were sitting in the audience, and you didn't even see them because you were too busy trying to get out of the theater too quickly.
All right.
We got anything else?
Nope.
I know.
We are moving on.
I know. Well, hang on a second.
Holy Jesus.
What are we actually moving on to?
We're moving on to the Bull Blitzes, John.
Oh,
And I went first with Discord questions, so
Okay.
you get to go.
Let's do it. Let's
I
do
get
it.
to defer to the second half.
Okay. So on my sporting app today, my Bleacher Report, I'm scanning through the stories. I
Scan them.
see Detroit loses, big shock. Detroit loses, big shock. Josh Allen's apparently runs for tons of yardage. Apparently, most by a rookie QB. Anyway, and I come across a story. It says Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors, who's one of the best players in the NBA and one of the best teams in the NBA, doesn't believe we landed on the moon. This is on the sporting app. So he's in some interview apparently. I forget, it was Vince Carter and somebody else's
Is he a
podcast.
fan of Bob?
I don't know. He didn't mention that. But my question to you is not if we landed on the moon, but what do you think of like these celebrities and sports figures coming out making these outrageous claims? Whether they're true or false is irrelevant at this point for this question. It's just what do you think? Like who was it? Kyrie Irving came out and said the Earth was flat. And now he's saying we didn't land on the moon. And whether we did or didn't, and it is or isn't, what do you think of them coming out and even making these statements? Should they even be doing this or should they not? Because it's just, what a waste of time, or it's a distraction, or talk about just the sport. Like, what do you think about that?
I have two opinions on this.
Okay.
The first opinion is you want to admire and respect somebody that's willing to piss in the wind and say something completely counter to society's belief or expectation and speak for what they believe. This is what I think, this is what I believe.
Okay.
The trouble always comes, where do we draw this line?
Right.
The other side of it for me, as somebody that is getting more and more comfortable thinking like a business person, is what is there to be gained here? As a prominent, famous sports athlete that has millions and millions of dollars a year in sponsorships and stuff like that, what is there to be gained by voicing this opinion? And to me, there's nothing but losses for you. There's nothing but negativity. Either the people that may or may not be mindless sheep are going to look at you like, hey, you're an idiot, and laugh at you, or the sponsors are going to think you're over the moon, no pun intended, and they're going to pull your sponsorships and all of that. There's no positive.
So why would one say that? Why would one come out and just make that statement? If it's only a negative to you as your career from a business standpoint, why would you come out and say that?
There's no motive to do so, and that's part of the reason that you have to admire the courage to do so.
It's just trying to bring awareness to something they believe in, right? Basically, because it's not gaining them anything. They're not getting money out of saying the Earth is flat or we didn't go to the moon. No one's going to be like, "Oh, here's $1 million. You're right," right?
this particular subject, you can't say it's open and shut. Like,
no, I don't expect to.
Real quick here, without totally getting into this, it happened a long time ago, and there's not a lot of things that are like hard evidence that happened before your lifetime that you can say personally to be true, and it's not the given things that society is told you to be true.
Yeah, exactly.
For me, the biggest issue here is people talk about, well, the technology at the time was akin to a regular calculator, not even a scientific calculator.
Right, yeah.
Now. Okay, that's a big question mark of how'd you pull that off then? And even if you did pull it off, here's the bigger problem for me. People say that this helium-3 or whatever it is on the moon is worth quadrillions of dollars and all of that. We got to the moon in the 60s, and we just checked that off the box. No need to go back there. I mean, other than that quadrillions of dollars of helium-3.
I know we could rant, but that wasn't the question. That's why I tried to make the question.
Why haven't we gone back, John? Why haven't we gone back?
You don't have to ask me. I'm with you, my man.
It's like somebody
the Van
told
Allen radiation belt. We can't go through it. It's deadly poison. But those guys could go through it those 7 times. But now we can't.
Let's say we did get there.
Oh my God.
Let's say we did get there, and it is true. Why haven't we gone back, John?
Any number of reasons. You could speculate on any of these conspiracy theories on why. It's an alien base. There's aliens on there.
Almost like somebody told us, don't come around here no more.
Possibly, assuming we actually went the first few times.
Again, that's the problem for me.
Yeah.
If either we didn't go, and it's one big lie, or even if we did go, why haven't we gone back?
Yeah, I'm with you. So my answer to that question is I'm interested when they say stuff like that because it does bring awareness. Even if it's because I question the moon landing. I just do. I look at the photos.
I question everything.
You have to. You can't just blindly accept everything. You just can't. You can't go on blind faith. Even science, people are calling it scientism now, like it's a religion. As people are just blind. Oh, he's a scientist. He said so.
I wouldn't go that far.
But a lot of people are. I mean, your flyover states. They're like, well, the scientists say it, so it must be true. And it's like, well, I used to believe that way, and I like to still kind of believe that. But unless you see it, how can you know?
This conversation is,
hit
me in the gut hard because so much of this is the subject matter of Hallowed Be Thy Name, John. That book just needs to be released and put out there already.
Yeah, let's get it done.
It is so absurd how related it is to everything. I don't think I ever had a chance to talk about this in the Gratcast yet, but they're back on this freaking launching.
Don't say the pollution.
Launching pollution into the outer edge of the atmosphere routine again. Like, I took this as the most absurd, stupid idea that could ever be proposed to humanity, and create an entire universe around the warped repercussions of such a stupid idea, and 10 years later, they're bringing it up again.
Yeah, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it.
This book needs to be released before they do it.
Garbage. All right, we're gonna have to keep moving, otherwise we're gonna be locked on this one. So
all right, John.
There we go. What you got?
All right. So anyone paying attention to the news anywhere is seeing the Yellow Jacket Brigade is coming for Macron or whatever the hell his name is in France.
That reminds me of.
France is burning. The Yellow Jacket Man. That's why I went with it, John.
Okay.
It's not as funny when you have to point out the puns.
Right.
But yes, the Yellow Jacket Revolution going on in France is, they say about gas tax, John.
Yeah, that's what the news says.
My question for you is, what do you think about everything that's going on in France right now? Are you for it or against it?
I'm for what they're doing in France with the gas. No, I'm just kidding. I'm for the people. I'm for the Yellow Jackets because we need to... It's not just this country. It's not just any one country. Every country seems to be oppressed in some way by their government in some fashion, and it's more than just one way. So that's why I love the advent of the internet, because it allows us to see what's going on around the world in other countries that we wouldn't have seen beforehand. You just don't know. So now you're seeing little videos on YouTube come out. You're seeing articles from places that aren't mainstream media coming out with these articles that aren't telling you what's going on.
Why do they all have Q on their Yellow Jackets, John?
No, I don't know that. I know you know that, which is why you brought it up. I'm still for the fact that they're... Why don't you share that with us? Why don't you share that? Why do they have Q on their jackets?
Well, we're not going to get too far into the Q. You want to know about the Q, you gotta go down this road yourself. Start with hashtag QAnon, ANON. But this person may or may not be a whistleblower within the government that has given a profound amount of information that has checked out to be accurate, including everything that's going on in the past couple of weeks here.
Okay.
One of the things that has been talked about in these channels, and I'm not sitting here saying I agree or disagree with any of this stuff. I find it fascinating, and I keep an eye on it, pay attention to what turns out to be fairly accurate, what turns out to be completely hooey, and just keep the temperature of the room on this whole thing. From a storyteller's perspective, it is absolutely fascinating, the Q phenomenon. So with that, one of the things that have been the posts of recent is a lot of links to videos and pictures and things on social media that are from within the Yellow Jacket Revolution.
Okay.
And it's showing all the close-up pictures of people with their jackets and people in the crowd and all of that. And they've got all sorts of QAnon, where we go one, we go all of the different catchphrases and slogans.
So the fact that they're wearing this QAnon stuff points out to that it's more than just these fuel prices that they're complaining about. That's what you're trying to say, at least at the very basic level.
Yes, and that the fuel prices are potentially layered into all of the motivating factors and all of that are leading to the fuel tax. That isn't just let's do nice things for the environment.
Okay.
But yeah. So what's your overall feeling on?
I'm just saying that I like the idea that they're aware. Clearly they're in their country. They're more aware than I am of what's going on. But, I mean, we're not getting a lot of information anyway. If you don't actually seek it out and look for it, you're just going to see what I saw.
What they want you to see.
Which is what I saw. That's why I had asked you earlier. I was like, yeah, I see it's the fuel prices. And you were like, no, it's the QAnon. You got to, like, pay more attention and look. So I think it's great that they are becoming more aware. Hopefully Q is... I mean, we discussed this before, that Q could... that you don't want anyone to hitchhike the QAnon and then lead them down a path, or hopefully somebody's not leading them down a messed up path, because now they have all these QAnonites, or whatever you would call them, the followers that may just do whatever this person wants because he or she has been so accurate in a lot of these predictions, right? Or these...
The thing for me here with all of this, John, is as I pay attention to all of this, the most likely scenario to me appears to be that both sides of the political paradigm have entered into their nuclear options.
Okay.
It seems pretty apparent to me that there's plenty of circumstantial, even at worst, stuff that Mueller and the whole Democratic machine are going to drag Trump down for one way or the other.
Okay.
And at the very same time, it seems pretty evident to me we are not done with the Clinton Foundation and digging through all of that, and it was pretty obvious that there was a tilted hand on the scales of justice with that whole investigation.
Oh, for sure.
So from somebody sitting on the hilltop watching two idiots fight, it seems the most likely outcome is mutually assured destruction between these two entities at this point in time, as a unbiased observer.
So is that what you think about what's going on in France? That's what you feel?
I think this is another leak in that dam we were talking about last week, where everyone's scratching and picking at it.
Yeah.
And
eventually it's going to burst, and then when it all comes out, then all hell's going to break
loose. I think these things are already spreading. There was already Belgium and several other countries that the riots have spreaded, which is why they don't want to tell anybody about any of this stuff.
Right.
But
it's people waking up, right? It's people becoming more and more aware, and not just waking up, but getting sick of the fact that they're being treated the way they're being treated.
Like we mentioned here a few minutes ago, it's people are paying attention more and more and more and more.
Yeah.
And when you start paying attention more and more and more and more, it's not even so much what's happening right now that will really chap your ass and get under your skin. It's when you start looking backwards at, all the things that were hidden just below the surface, long before people ever thought that anyone else would have the ability to scratch below the surface.
Okay.
So, like, all of the old school style justice and racist establishment rules and regulations and all of those things, nobody really looked into that stuff or considered it or looked beyond all of those things. But in this day and age now, that stuff's a lot more apparent in people's face. They see it a lot more. And when you look backwards and you see how much of that stuff was right there the entire time, But it was just like, we're not going to call attention to it, so you're not going to pay attention to it type of thing.
Right.
And now people are savvy enough to understand what that was for what that was. I think that's where people are like really get awoken and angry and realizing how bad it was in the past.
Right.
And now like it has to be hidden more and it has to be manipulated and layered in more. It's still happening.
Right.
But I think that's the easiest place to get there and see a song like Baby It's Cold Outside is a perfect example. In the 60s, friggin' slipping Mickeys and drinks and taking opportunities to be pushy on girls,
Yep.
That's standard operating procedure. And people see it for what it is today.
But it's easier to see it now, like I said, with the invention of the internet. With the internet, though, you can actually look at the lyrics. You don't have to go to the store and buy the album and look it up.
Is it easier to see it for what it is today, or just more people willing to acknowledge what it is today? Like
maybe a little of both, because I'm just saying, like I said, the internet really gives you so much of an advantage that you didn't have when we were 5 and 6 and other people were adults and these things were still happening back then. You didn't know. Mail was mail. There wasn't email, so everything was slower. Do you know what I'm saying? So I feel that maybe it's not easier in the sense that everything's freely given, but you have the opportunity, you have more opportunity to find the truth than you did, a little more easily than you did in the past.
Yeah.
Truth be told. All right, so where are we here?
Moving on to the next one.
Moving on.
You're up.
Baby. Okay, so mine's gonna be a lot lighter than that. Everything today has felt like it's been a very heavy subject. So I showed you that video of these interesting bridges. One kind of was technological and it rolled itself out over an area and you could walk on that and it was okay. Well, there was that one rickety bridge, and you've all seen these images. Just these rickety ass bridges, like going 100 feet across a ravine. It's probably 1,000-foot drop. I mean, it's something you'd see in a movie, but people cross it. So my question to you, short and simple, and you saw the bridge, is would you cross some rickety ass bridge?
The same crazy ass countries that you showed me that bridge from are the ones that have the glass bridge that's super high up and the whole
I wouldn't go on that one.
No.
I wouldn't go on that one.
No.
But obviously, I've answered my own question very quickly there as well. But
I don't do heights.
Yeah. Can you guys? I can't do it either. We talked about that. Can you guys just think of it? Rickety old bridge, 100 feet across, 1,000-foot drop. Could you just walk across it?
Most of it's made from canvas that the natives broke together.
Yeah, it's like old hemp. There's not even like wood on the thing. It's just a rope, thick, but it's a rope bridge.
Yeah, no.
Could you do it? No.
All right, John.
Hell no. That was a quick one. I like that. Short and sweet.
This one might be pretty quick.
Okay.
It's going to be heavy too, John.
Of course it is. Let's go.
How do you feel about the news that microplastics were found in human poop from 4 different corners of the world?
1, I think it's hilarious. 2, I think it's ridiculous. But it just goes to show you that clearly they don't care what they're putting in our food, and we're eating it because we don't care. I don't know who did the study, but I suppose I'm grateful for it. But it just goes, again, our food isn't food. It's not all food anymore. I've talked about McDonald's and the pink goo and all this other stuff that they put in it. And I've even heard I've heard some real crappy speculations that I'm not even going to put on Gratcast. I'll tell you afterwards.
Ooh.
But I'm telling you, no, seriously.
If you want to know, you're going to have to join us in the Discord, and John will share it in there with you.
You'd be disgusted from what I heard. It was
Discord.me/Gratwick.
It was actually a video. I'd seen a video on. It was what is this? Someone high in Judaism. I don't know what he was. What his title was, but it was someone high up discussing
a rabbi.
Rabbi, thank you. I just didn't know. I apologize.
Oh, nice.
I apologize. Yeah, and discussing this is what we do, and I'll slip in the Discord afterwards. But it's pretty damn gross. Pretty damn gross. What do I think of it? I think that's pretty much par for the course. Like I said, our food isn't food anymore. It's not all 100%. It's all GMO, and now it's not just GMO. Now they're putting plastics and stuff in it. They said there's actually chemicals from silly putty in the McDonald's and McNuggets.
I saw something the other day.
I mean, there you go.
Last topic, we'll
of course, from around the world.
You brought up silly putty,
right?
They've now got edible silly putty.
No. I mean, yes, but that...
Yeah. So after you get your grimy, nasty-ass hands all over it, stretch it, place it on in the newspaper, make the copy, all these things you do with putty, now you can stick it in your mouth at the end? No, it's already made out of plastic.
It's ridiculous to me that...
Now we can start recycling poop.
That companies allow it's gone so far that nobody even cares anymore. Clearly they find poop... It's not that they just happen in one country, 2 countries... 4 corners around the world, you said. 4 different corners around the world.
Oh, yeah. Humans are...
Around the world.
Are polluted with plastics inside us.
Well, of course, of course.
All right, John, cue up my favorite song.
Okay, let me cue
it
up.
The season's beatings time. We're looking for you to join the ELabs Mutant Football League tournament, December 22nd. Let's get this show out of here. We've got some testing to do so we can bring guests in the show next week. So we have a little more meat on these bones.
Let's get her done.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks, don't mind me. I'm just saying nothing for me. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
No. Fuck this shit, I'm out. All right, then. I don't know what the fuck just happened. I don't really care. I'm gonna get the fuck up out of here. And I'm out.
You know, I like some of these buttons, but I'm just telling you, it's not easy.
A waste of buttons you got over there.
It's not easy. And then I'm blind in the right eye, so to look over there, I got to look even farther, dude. I don't know.
We need a button.
I could definitely use a button. We don't need a button masher.